Hey, what's going on? My name's Karen Campbell, and here on YouTube I teach how to draw and do mixed media so that you know just what to do and you can get right to your happy place and have fun with your art projects. Today I want to talk about art organization, supply, and organization. I teach so many different mediums that being well organized is really essential to both my business and my personal pleasure when I am getting creative. So I want to give you my best tips in this video, and hopefully some of my ideas and tips will help you with your own art supply and storage. Let's get started. So the biggest, easiest, most general way to organize your art supplies is doing supplies by type. And let me show you what I mean. So this might be fairly obvious, but maybe not. I'm not sure what you have going on in your art room. But for me, it means having a dedicated place for all the things that are in the like type. So for example, this IKEA cart is filled with nothing but rubber stamps. So I know if I need a rubber stamp, and oh yes, I do have more than one cart of rubber stamps, but at least I know where to go, and here's the inks that go along with them. Now, is this remarkably neat and organized and tidy within this cart? Well, no, I'm a super messy person, but at least I know, again, if I need a stamp, especially alphabet stamps, this is where I can go to find them. Same thing over here. I have this entire cabinet is filled with actually two specific art supplies. One is adhesives and the other one is my surface preps. So if I'm ready to gesso or doing a watercolor project and I need absorbent ground, anything I need to coat my canvases or my paper with, I can go in here and find my different gessos. Similarly, I will find all of my sealants are actually in here as well. So we have my Mod Podge. We also have fixatives. So there's a lot of products in here. Again, I do a lot of different art. I even have my adhesives. Like I said, there's Wellbond glue. There's some big things of Mod Podge there at the bottom. And I also have my sealants here for my final layer. So my finishers and my spray sealer. So these are a lot of aerosol cans. There's a lot of brush on sealants. But again, it's all in one place. So this is another organization tip if you're organizing things by type. And on the same subject of type, if you are organizing by type, you're not necessarily worried about the brand. So you could have all your brands mixed together, and your priority in that case would be the type of art supply. But keeping them all the same types together is a great way to organize your products. Okay, the second way that I like to organize my products is by brand. You know, if an art supply has a really special qualities that only pertains to it, and right away I am thinking of the Stabilo All Pencil. Okay, I have a lot of different brands and kinds of water-soluble pencils. They come in, I have Derwent, I have Prismacolor, there's a lot of different brands, Faber-Castell, that produce watercolor pencils. However, the Stabilo to me is very special, and it has qualities that go above and beyond just a regular watercolor pencil, so they get their own private place. So in that case, I'm separating my art materials by brand. Okay, another thing to take into consideration when you're organizing your art supply room is what kind of containers are you storing your products in? Now, I am a visual person, and I'm sure that you are too if you're watching this video. So for me, it's really important that I see the art supplies. I'm surrounded by art supplies that are well organized, but also that I can like see into the containers. Because sometimes, especially if I'm working with mixed media, I can't really, I'm like thinking of like, oh, it would be good to have something, and I quite don't even know for the specific supply that I'm looking for. So being able to see into my bins helps kind of like inspire me. It helps jogs my like art mental memory as to what would be good options and that sort of thing. So this also goes in line with whether or not when you get your art supplies from Amazon or Jerry's Artarama or Marshall's or wherever you're buying your art supplies, do you hold on to that original container or do you replace it with a clear bin? Ooh, it's like a really tough choice because some of these containers are beautiful. And here is a perfect example. Here is a set of Neocolor 2s by Caran d'Ache. And you know, it's this beautiful tin, and so many watercolor pencils and markers come in these gorgeous tins that I awkwardly am opening right now. Okay, and all the colors are sorted. However, I do have to say, if you only have these, it's very easy to stack these all up. And when you store them like this vertically, there's no binding like a book, so you won't be able to see what this is. So in order to get around the solution while still keeping the original packaging that they're in, I actually put the tins into a clear bin that is fully labeled. That way I can still see inside, and all of my buckets are stackable. And this brings me to my next point, which is when you're organizing your art supplies, simplify things and do things, go get items that purposefully can stack or be grouped that look pleasing to the eye when they're all together. Like these bins from the same store, so I knew that they would all stack properly, they all work the same way, and this way it's a little bit gentler on the eye too. If you have the same kind of storage going, repeating itself, they fit better together, and visually it looks a little bit more organized and pleasing as well. Now, not in all the cases, like these two bins over here, the Scotland bin is also from IKEA, and so it's a different storage space. So it's not, I'm not like 100% like anal, I'm the opposite of OCD anyways, but having everything look the same does help kind of like release my anxiety for things being a mess, but also because these are clear, I can see what's inside in addition to the label. So I also make sure to go to the store and get the same label, so your labels can all be the same. Now this one is not a clear bin, it says Scotland on it, and I honestly can't remember what's in here, and because it's not clear, I have to take it out and open it up, and that's more of a hassle. So definitely I highly recommend the clear bin. Okay, another thing that I recommend too is if you can't get clear bins, I recommend getting, why are you not focusing camera? These like open stock is another great way to organize your markers and your pencils. And what I do is, because the brush nib for me is the most important nib, you're supposed to store markers actually horizontally so the ink is even distribution throughout your marker. But I 90% of the time always use my brush nib, which on Copics is the gray, this gray strip signifies the brush nib. So I simply store mine down, and that way I know when I pick it up to color, I'll always have the most ink flowing towards my juicy nib. So that's a great way to differentiate your, well, to help to be able to store your markers vertically and getting the most use out of them. Another reason these carts are so great, and by the way, here's another example where I'm dividing my art supplies into brand and then color. So I keep my Copics separated from my other brands of alcohol markers. So these are Artezas, and I also have, I have Spectrum Noir under here. And so what's great about these as little crash carts too, is that I actually have another drawing station. I actually create my books upstairs in my office because it's next to the scanner. And so what's great is I can take these, I'll be like, you're coming with me, I need these 4, and then we walk up and we go work on my book together with my art supply. So they're great because they're portable and you can change things around all the time. So obsessed with this little system I got going on. All right, another shout out to IKEA for both these carts. Now these carts are from IKEA too, but they're very, very popular, but they also can be very expensive. I purchased them from anywhere between $29 and $49 or $59 at IKEA. But what I've also found is that these little crash carts, I think this was like $16. And then these are actually utensil holders from the kitchenware department at IKEA. And so I found you could exactly, oh, I have a blender that's sticking out. You can fit exactly these 6 in the exact parameters of one of these carts. So again, this visually looks good to me because they're all nice and neat and all contained in here, but also you're not breaking the bank on all these carts. You also have organization within organization. So while these are loose, this is kind of things slopping all over the place, these help contain your mess even more. So I highly recommend something like that. So we've already talked about organizing by type, we've talked about organizing by brand, and now I want to talk about organizing by color. So this is a great way if you are collecting a ton of one product. Organizing by color makes your life so much easier. Let me show you what I mean. So for example, this is my paint storage and I have it organized by the rainbow. So as you can see, I have tons. So I have purples, pinks, and then reds, and then it goes down the rainbow. We have yellow and then green and blue, and then we get into our whites and blacks over there, and browns are in the front. So this way when I come in, I know exactly about the rainbow that I'm looking for, and I can pick and choose accordingly. And I also recommend keeping your books separate. I really have an obsession for art books. I love creating them. I'm on my 10th and 11th right now, and I also love to buy them. So keeping them up and away and separated from your messy art supplies will help protect them, but also having them nearby. This is a closet that's right off my art studio, so having them close enough that I can access them is great. You can also look for little separate storage containers like this rack right here. So again, I'm storing these paints not only by color, but also by type. So if you can see here, I have greens and blues at the top, and then pinks, and then all my skin tones, some yellow, some odds and ends down there. But keeping these, I don't have any more of these colors than fit in this contraption. So I don't have any overflow. It also helps you limit your supplies. Say, okay, I have room for 3 more. Oh, I'll just pop my alcohol inks right in there. And I know what you're saying right now. You're like, limit the number of art supplies. But again, if you're like me, you like to hoard your art supplies. So having a limited container that you can fill helps you prioritize. Okay, I love this one brand of blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, I'm limited to 20 and then I can't fit anymore, and that it helps you from that obsessive hoarding, which we are all guilty of. Not sorry, but it is a problem. My second to last tip for you is to label. And I do this for my furniture, I do it for my bins, and that way you have 2 indicators of what it is that's in your storage container. You have the visual aspect of it, and you also have the written aspect of it. And as you can see, even my drawers I am labeling, because I want to, if I'm in the throes of creation and I want to grab something really quick, I can scan down and say, oh, what do I need? What do I need? I got transfer paper, forms and stencil, oil paints, watercolors, gouache, trace and mist. So I can remind myself very quickly what's inside and get exactly what I need. And my last tip for you is my favorite. And that is to do organization based on inspiration. And I've been super into this lately, and I just love it, and I can't wait to show you. So I've been really into inks lately. I started collecting fountain pen inks, not so much for my fountain pens, although I do have them, but for painting with. And if you follow me on social media or you're in my Facebook group already, and if you're not, come and join me. Just search Awesome Art School with Karen Campbell. You'll find me there. But I love to paint with inks, and I've been putting them and collecting these antique storage decanters. And then when the social distancing hit, I ordered some on Amazon, and I have been transferring, I keep looking over here because my ink storage is over there. I've been transferring the inks from the original packaging into these antique bottles, and that way when I go to select my colors, I feel like I'm going back in time and I get to take my pick, and everything is like fancy, and it kind of like sets the stage for the little art session that I'm about to have. Yeah, it's super cool. Let me show you. And then in addition, I also bought this just very inexpensive at Home Goods, this rack. So this is like my dedicated ink storage area. So as you can see, now this was a very inexpensive little set. I think I got 10 bottles for $16 on Amazon, and I've transferred all my fountain pen inks into these fancy containers. And so now again, if I need a color, this is actually a little shot of bourbon container, and I label all the colors on the back or the front. Look at these sweet little containers. No, they're not sealed. I've already had a big ink spill. I don't care. I love it so much. I find this super inspirational. I can kind of come down here and I go shopping, and I feel like a combination of like vintage, you know, crazy apothecary / mad scientist. when I get to go through and I look at my colors. A lot of people ask me if these evaporate, and my answer to that is I have no clue, but I'm not storing these long term. I use my art supplies. So if a little bit, you know, evaporates before I can get to it, that's okay. But my objective is to use these and not store them long term. I almost forgot the very last thing is where do you store your artwork? So I don't sell my work because I use it so much for teaching. So my canvases, I actually store directly on my walls. What's up, Jamie? I have also collect cardboard men. It's a problem. Actually, that they're throughout my house. So I put canvases on the wall. I have a little rack in the corner here for my like art boards. These are more sturdier pieces that I can't hang up, so they'll go in there. Now I also work I do a lot of work in art journals. So art journals are a home to many, many, many pieces. I do a lot of work on individual pieces of paper, either Bristol or watercolor paper. I have just recently started organizing my loose leaf projects into these portfolio binders, and what's great is they come in very standard sizes. So for my larger pieces, these are 11 by 14. I can put them in together in these portfolios. Whoops. This one is 9 by 12, and then this one is 8.5 by 11. So this is great because these are projects that I use for my classes at Awesome Art School, and I can keep them all together in one place. Nice and neat, and then I have them for storage easily and nicely and safely in those. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So if you got any inspiration or help from this video, you can let me know if you liked it. And also if you have suggestions for other people, maybe you have an awesome storage idea, we would love to hear from you. Go ahead and put that in the comment section below. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.